So, our topic today is communication. So, if there was ever a time in your life when you felt like the other person just wasn't listening, tell us about that time. Tell us about the time where you felt like you said something and they just weren't listening.
Okay. Okay. Prime example. We were at home and I was at the dining room table and I wasn't talking about anything super important. It was just me sharing something that happened or an idea with Chad. And so Toga, our dog, who is very needy and rambunctious, came over and starts, licking on his pants and doing all kind of random stuff. So Chad, because that's his dog, he's
My dog.
you're roughing him up and playing with him. So in the process of me talking, he gets distracted by the dog and totally forgets that I was even talking in the first place because I stopped talking. I said, Chad. I said, babe. I said, Chad. And then Ivy looked at me and goes, and she looks at him and goes, Daddy. And he goes, huh? And so I'm like, babe. He said, hold on a second. He looks back at Ivy. And then Ivy said, somebody was talking to you. And Toga distracted him from that conversation. He's roughing up the dog. And I just said, never mind. And went back to what I was doing. And he never came back to say, hey, you were telling me something. Let's finish what we're talking about. And so in my mind, I thought he wasn't listening in the first place.
And that seems to be a common problem amongst couples, or it can be a common problem. So what are some ways that we can overcome that? How can we overcome times when we are distracted and we should be listening to our spouse? How can we overcome that?
Got to put away that distraction. Pay them that time and attention. Really, and it happened. It's like I guess it was like subconsciously, I just turned off. I guess I don't know. To hear you say that is actually shocking to me because it seems so dramatic. I'm not saying that I'm far from it, but because it obviously happened. But wow, that's it's very shocking. Yeah. So I see now the importance of eliminating distractions. Totally turning off the distractions. I was distracted twice according to that record, the dog, and then
well,
the
that's
child.
because Ivy was involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember that because Ivy was like, that's messed up.
Wow.
But I know, but see, I've done it too. I have done it. And so, like we'll be driving and he'll be talking and I like to look around, and somebody will be doing something and I'll say, oh, that's strange, and he's talking, but I'm over here looking out the window. So I think to help combat that is we have to be more intentional about focusing on the conversation that, being, participating in the conversation through listening, not necessarily through talking, but through listening, like on purpose. So.
And it's very frustrating for me because I have a slight speech impediment, and so if I get too excited or too nervous, I just start stuttering and stammering everywhere. So when I'm talking, it takes everything I have in me to say it, make sense, let the other person respond. So that one time, I was like, I think I really put a whole stop. I was like, babe, really? Because it just triggered me that
he was triggered.
I was triggered.
Yep.
But So that's
how can couples overcome it?
I think just being in the moment. Sometimes we attach things to our life. Like for me, I attach programming. I attach watching sports. The things I attach to my life that don't really necessarily have a big thing to do with her, but she really deserves more time, more of my moments than the things that I've attached myself to. And so I think that's a good way to overcome it, is just to be in the moment. When your spouse is talking, then we don't really know how much time we have with them. So it's important to be in the moment when they request a moment.